Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We got a small update to our indoor training setup today. I have just received this. And if you don't know what this is, it's a rocker plate from Lifeline, which was on sale for winter break, Christmas holiday season. Came here from UK. So I will open it up. So this rocker plate has only left and right movement, but I do have additional hardware that I will add for all forward and back movement. So stay tuned. I'm gonna immediately try and upgrade this thing before putting it upstairs. So I gotta undo these bolts, which looks like just a hex or whatever that is, Allen key. 6, yep, 6s. So I will do that and then try and install the rod and linear bearings and all of that, but I'll show you guys all of that procedure as I go. It looks good so far, and we got the holes marked. So the rod is a little bit shorter than this thing, so it didn't line up correctly with the big hole, but in the middle and second and third did. First and fourth did not, but it shouldn't be a problem. I'll 3D print some kind of a cap for these to close them off, so it should be okay. The rod is centered and installed on the base plate. I do need to tighten the bottom, the nuts, but it looks pretty good. I'm not done yet though. I have to work on the top plate now to get my measurements for my linear bearings in. I'll figure that out next. But so far it's looking pretty good. Already a lot heavier, so you could definitely feel more quality. Yeah, let's keep up the work. I'm getting tired though. When are we walking?
Like 10 minutes.
Gotta go walk in 10 minutes. House is a mess. But so this is the base plate with standoffs installed, and now this is the top plate right here, and I got the holes for linear bearings installed, and for the front here I might be able to use these. I might need to like just expand one of these a little bit. We'll see, but that's a option. I don't want to do that yet until the 3D printer is done with this bearing protector seal thingy that I'm printing. So that's a good progress. I think I should have it done today. I have a Zwift race later today, which I might not be able to have it done by. It really depends on when the 3D printer is done, but so far so good. I think it's looking pretty good. I do really like the way it's turning out. I really hope that front back motion is good. But yeah, cats are fighting. Our little spacers are done. Time to assemble this thing and hope that the holes were measured correctly. You know, measure twice, cut once. Well, I measured once, so we'll see. use a different camera. Mine died, so I'm using my phone. But anyway, so yeah, it's done. As I said, not a lot of forward and back movement, but just enough, I think, that when you stand up and sprint or something, or climb, that you get that comfort, I guess. But yeah, here she is. Oh, it's hard to film with this one, but I'm on top now. That's pretty good. Surfer. Alright, guys, it's now after the video. I actually rode 2 workouts so far on the rocker plate. I'll get to that in a minute, but first of all, I know there was not a lot of details in that assembly video. So the rocker plate I got is a lifeline rocker plate from a Chain Reaction Cycles. And then the upgrade is, it's pretty much a 55-inch long steel rod or shaft with 4 linear bearings, and then 4 kind of like standoffs that hold the shaft in place on the base plate. The linear bearings are mounted on the top plate, which allows it to move. I also use 2 springs, one to stop me from going backwards and reset, and one for the forward and reset. And then I 3D printed 2 washers, so something that sits in between a spring and a bearing, because if the spring, so the bearing doesn't have a seal but it's a plastic where the interface where it meets the spring, so if you don't have anything in between and the spring keeps hitting the bearing, it might damage it. So I have this plastic thing I 3D printed in between that kind of protects the bearing itself. And that's about it. There's not much else to it. It's pretty easy assembly. I mean, I did it in my living room, in a couple of hours. So it's easy. My issue was I couldn't find a quality plywood. I also didn't have really the tools to cut it to whatever shape I need to. And if I was gonna buy those tools, it would be more expensive, or even if I was gonna go CNC it somewhere, it'd probably be more expensive. So I just decided to get a already assembled side rocker plate and then upgrade that, which I think turned out really well for my first ever project like that. So really stoked, really happy with that. As far as riding, it is very different. I got used to the static trainer, and then the little bit of sway and give ahead was coming from the frame, which I really didn't like, because every time I would look at my seat post or my seat stays, they would really bend. So I did not like that, especially as a bigger guy. You always feel like you're gonna break the bike, especially sprinting, so not ideal. Also comfort wise, as soon as I was passing 2-hour mark, I'd have some lower back and some pain, and then some saddle sores that I don't have to really go into too much, but you kind of feel those little nagging pains after about 2 hours in on the trainer, which is not ideal. So I did a couple of tries with some soft little things underneath the trainer feet, and that helped immensely. So I figured a next logical step would be a rocker plate. It might be an overkill, but it's pretty cool little gadget. There are a couple of issues with the rocker plate. The pivot point is below the bike, so when you're biking it does feel weird. It doesn't feel real at all. It just feels more comfortable, but you can't really relate that to the road whatsoever. It's if you try and ride on a road like you do inside on a rocker plate, you'll crash. You won't even go anywhere. Let's put it that way. But other than that, you just gotta get used to it. What I am missing though is, so the way you center the bike on a rocker plate is you center it by your bottom bracket. So your bottom bracket needs to be right in the center of that shaft, so pivot point, which then offsets your trainer. I don't know if I can really show you, not really. But so my bike is centered, but my trainer is kind of on the side, which shifts weight of the whole thing to the left on my setup. So typically what you should have is you should have some sort of way to offset that. So I would, get, let's say 10 pounds on the right side, and then make sure that that's even, and then kind of try and I don't know, tie down that weight or kind of fasten it so it doesn't move. That way, bike is balanced without any support on the rocker plate. I don't have any extra weight to put on there. So what I did is, so rocker plate has two inflatable balls that kind of, make you side to side firm or less firm depending how you like it. I inflated the one on the left side a lot more. So now I have it centered, but it's not an ideal solution. So when I'm riding, it does feel kind of weird. I also am playing with how firm I like side to side. At the moment, it's not firm at all. So if you can see the bike, I can do this by with my one finger. So when I'm riding, it takes a lot of mental focus and kind of core activation to really keep that bike steady. I think as far as going steady and easy riding up to sweet spot kind of feels okay. Sprinting is weird because sprinting is completely opposite from outside. Is if I'm pressing down with my right, my bike also goes to the right. Instead of outside, you would move your bike to the left and you would kind of use the leverage. Inside, it's all the same side. So it's different. So we'll see this Tuesday when I have a Zwift race, how that goes when I'm sprinting. But I think I will try and make the balls firmer, so that way I have less side to side, which, this is still, this is super comfortable. If you're gonna talk about, moving side to side, and even forward and back, you don't think about it. But even this little movement, I found that when I'm doing sweet spot, every pedal stroke, I do see a couple of millimeters or inches back and forth movement, which I wasn't expecting, but I think that's where a lot of comfort comes from. It's that little movement is crazy, just different, but it's good in a good way. So far I'm pretty happy with the setup. I don't think I will change anything on it anytime soon, other than maybe get that counter weight balance stuff. But yeah, so if you guys have any questions or anything, feel free to ask in the comments. But I hope that kind of covers a lot of the things. And please subscribe. I will keep pushing these videos out as much as I can. Thank you for watching.